Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call to order the Naperville Park District Board of Commissioners regular meeting. Today is June 11th, 2015. Time is 7 o'clock. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Jackie, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Egan?
Present.
Commissioner Ensign?
Present.
Commissioner Heidi?
Here.
Commissioner Janner?
Here.
Commissioner Todd?
Here.
Commissioner Young? Here. President Riley?
Here. And we don't have any awards or recognition this evening. Is anyone signed up to speak, Jackie? Then we'll move on to updates and reports. First, the Riverwalk Commission update. Commissioner Heidi.
Thank you, President Riley. The Riverwalk Commission met on June 10th. First among the discussion items was the annual budget. The Commission's fiscal year ended on April 30th, and the capital budget was 43% consumed. The primary reason for the lower than projected spending is the fact that soil remediation has not yet occurred at 430 South Washington. The overall budget was 56% consumed for the same reason. The unspent funds will carry through to 2016. Speaking of 430 South Washington, the elusive DuPage County permits have, at long last, been obtained. Construction, which will turn this site into a park, is scheduled to begin this fall. The Water Street project is progressing as expected, and the developer asked the Commission for advice on do not feed the wildlife concrete embossing placement. 6 sites along the new walk were approved. And finally, flashing and waterproofing work on Moser Tower is going out for bid on July 20th. This work will eliminate the flooding and remedy some other endemic problems. The proposed budget is $30,325, and it will come out of the city's general fund. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Heidi. Commissioner Jaron, do we have a legislative committee report? No. We'll move on to the Golf Committee. Commissioner Todd.
Okay. The Golf Committee met May 18th. We reviewed the April results. The revenues look good. Golf membership cards were looking good. Merchandise sales have been good due to successful demo days. Golf services and tournaments are lagging slightly, but they're actually ahead of last year. Rounds and revenues are ahead of the last 2 years. Foot golf has had 2 40-person outings out. The training center is active and has had approximately $4,000 in revenue. Marketing is working on several initiatives. They're targeting a 10-mile radius for lessons and the training center. They're working on an online advertising with the Herald and the Tribune. They're working on the Golf Now Plus rollout. And finally, they're also updating surveys from daily play and tournaments. And the next meeting for the Golf Committee will be June 22nd at Springbrook.
Thank you. That's a brief President's report. Earlier today, we conducted a ribbon-cutting ceremony at Nike Sports Complex commemorating the installation of outdoor fitness stations along the trail. Nike's definitely one of the district's most popular parks. It's busy all year round with soccer, cricket, volleyball, basketball, lacrosse, tennis, baseball. The playground gets very heavy use. And the trails are one of the most desired amenities that residents always tell us in every community survey we've done. So we're delighted to be adding outdoor fitness stations so the trail users can get a full workout. On behalf of the board and all our residents, I want to thank Edward Elmhurst Healthcare for providing funding for this project. And special appreciation goes out to Naperville resident Fran Krumloff, who brought this idea to us. It's great when park users come up with ideas to improve our facilities. Thank you, Fran. Now for our executive director's report.
Thank you, President Riley. A few things to talk about here. Our summer day camps kicked off early this week. Lots of fun activities planned for kids, grades 1 through 8. If the end of the school and the start of summer break has caught you off guard, check out our website or our summer camps guide for information on full day and half day camps for kids. We are still taking registration for future weeks of camp. Additionally, many other athletic, arts, and environmental camps will be held throughout the summer and may also be registered for, depending on available spots in each. Beachgoers have been loving the summer temperatures this week, and with many people taking advantage of the season memberships. If you haven't yet purchased your 2015 season membership, there's still plenty of time to enjoy a mini vacation at Centennial Beach. A season pass is always a great value, plus members receive a 10% discount at Centennial Grill, as well as an invitation to a late season members-only event. Visit centennialbeach.org for further details on anything that has to do with the beach. The week of June 22nd, the Park District will host its first ever annual Naperville Senior Games. There's still time to register to compete in a wide variety of events, including billiards, golf, pinochle, swimming, trap shooting, and much more. For information on this exciting new event, visit napervilleparks.org/senior games. We're having a great event this Saturday morning. This Saturday we'll host a special event at the West Street Garden Plots in honor of past Commissioner Ron Ori. Ron, an avid gardener and master gardener status, and has a true passion for gardening, has brought so many enhancements to the garden plots over the many years that he has served here and the many years that the garden plots have been in existence. As a result, and due to his 20-year tenure as a Park Board Commissioner, we will be changing the name from the West Street Garden Plots to the Ron Ori Garden Plots. Join us on Saturday, June 13th at 8:30 a.m. for a renaming ceremony and light refreshments, and to congratulate Ron on this important recognition. And finally, join the Park District for the grand reopening of the Knocknolds Disc Golf Course on Saturday, June 27th at 10 a.m. This very popular 9-hole course is now an 18-hole disc golf course, and we're very excited about all the enhancements that have been made to this community gem. The event will include a brief ceremony, some refreshments, some basic how-to play instruction, and a putt for pies competition. Additionally, the first 100 guests at the event will receive a free disc. For more information on any of these events, please visit our website at www.napervilleparks.org. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have approval of the Treasurer's Report.
Move to approve the April 2015 Treasurer's Report.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Jackie, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Todd,
Yes.
Commissioner Egan,
Yes.
Commissioner Ensign,
Yes.
Commissioner Heidi,
Yes.
Commissioner Janner,
Yes.
President Riley.
Yes. Next, we have the consent agenda. Are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda?
Yes, President Riley, can we pull item D as in delicious?
Pull item D. Any other items to be pulled from the consent agenda?
Move to accept consent agenda items A through C and E through J.
Second.
We have motion and a second. Any discussion?
I have to call the roll.
Roll call vote.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Todd,
Yes.
Commissioner Egan,
Yes.
Commissioner Ensign,
Yes.
Commissioner Heidi,
Yes.
Commissioner Janner,
Yes.
President Riley.
Yes.
Move to approve consent agenda items as accepted.
Second.
We have motion and a second. Any discussion? This is a voice vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
Should we move on to unfinished business and address D? Okay. Move to approve item D.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on item D, which is approved resolution 15201, a resolution of governmental body accepting membership as a member of the Northern Illinois Health Insurance Initiative subpool, which is a member of the Intergovernmental Personnel Benefit Cooperative. Any discussion, Commissioner Egan?
Yes, please. I had this item pulled. I have a lot of concerns with this option, and there's really no rush. So first and foremost, to me, it appears that this is a no-bid contract. We only have one pool or one option brought to us. De facto, our current one is at least two. But we've already given notice, and we certainly don't want to stay with Perderma. I'm squarely in favor of that. In fact, I've been pushing for it for several years now. We don't have all of the information. I'm not sure that we've gone through all the bylaws. The administrative fee hasn't been disclosed to us. We're in a subpool, so we don't even get our own vote like we do in Perderma. We have a vote in the subpool, the majority there rules, and then that vote gets forwarded to the main pool. The average adjustment, as you look at this, it varies by member. So the pool is one thing, but the individual member varies. So for example, Barrington in 2013 saw a 14.3% increase, but furthermore, they note that a member can vary as high as 10% higher to the overall pool's average. So if the overall pool average is 8%, we could be 18%. The converse certainly would apply, as they note. But again, we've only got one decision here. Is it better than what we've got now? Well, that's a relative comparison. We really need to look at all the options and find the best way to protect our insurance. I also didn't see anything on the minimum reserve balance. I didn't see a recommendation on what that is. I know when we had them in, Gallagher, they spoke about having millions on reserve. Well, that's, again, millions, that's a lot of money, right? But is it the appropriate amount? Do they need to have more money into that reserve? Are we going to get whacked with a big hit? 18 months locking in a price, that's nice, but maybe us coming into that pool buffers that arrest for the rest of the members. I don't see that we've investigated a stop loss, or even if that's possible if we're within a pool, but an individual stop loss on our own to further decrease our costs or spread that risk across another insurance provider. And then the one thing that we've talked about for a couple years, you look at the benefits at the PPO for the family, it's $28,000. That's a lot of money. And moving to this pool does not address that. We need to take a look, and certainly we want to be cognizant. A lot of our hardworking employees don't make a lot of money. They're 15, 16 bucks an hour. But I would argue that at $28,000, we're certainly going to get whacked with the Cadillac tax, 30%, 40%, whatever that's at. We would be better off shifting benefits and getting off the $250 deductibles and making all the changes at once and then reevaluating these employees' salaries. Because to me, inherently, it's unfair that while I'm getting, or I have a $28,000 insurance benefit available to me, if I don't have anybody using that benefit, I'd be better off getting that in my salary. So finding ranges to protect the costs of the insurance for those who don't make a lot of money, all those things I believe should come together. So there is no reason, in my humble opinion, that we need to approve this tonight. We have time, not a lot of time, maybe 60 days, but that would be plenty of time to go out and vet different options that are available in the insurance pools, going on our own, whether their alternatives are out there, and then bringing us 3 or 4 alternatives that if staff still recommends to go this route, then it's justified in my opinion. And you know, if it passes the sniff test and we act as our check and balance and support staff or go to one of the other alternatives, that would be the most appropriate thing to do in my opinion.
Thank you. Katie, would you like to, and I know you have some representatives here, would you like to address some of the comments that Commissioner Regan has made?
I'd be happy to answer any specific questions or ask Greg from Gallagher to come up and answer specific questions if there are. If there are certain points that you would like addressed, I'm happy to do that.
The point is that we don't have any other alternatives that were evaluated or at least presented to us.
But I'd also say that there's some questions raised regarding amount of increase, for example, that Barrington experienced, how that might or might not relate to us, and question on the minimum reserve balance and potential for stop loss. So perhaps if you could come to the podium and address some of those comments. Some of the comments I think also is, as you mentioned, Commissioner Regan, revolve around plan design, and I think that is a next step, if I am understanding correctly.
And I would like to address one inconsistency. Our current deductible is $500, not $250.
I'm Greg Alleman from Gallagher Benefit Services. I'm a senior partner on the IPBC. This is Dave Cook, who's the executive director of the IPBC. And the first thing, to address some of the questions related to the Cadillac tax, the discussion that you're having is the same discussion that all 87 communities have had when we go up there. If you look at page 2, you see the 87 communities that are part of this pool that have all been vetted the same way, just like you're doing tonight. To address the issue of, is this moving quick? Is this only one option? Well, we're going to explain to you why we're all options. First off, you've got a requirement from PERDERMA. You have to give them 6 months' notice to get out. That's your biggest hurdle. Then, if you want to look at the commercial marketplace, understand that you're under 150 lives. No matter who you get a quote from, your HR staff will have to submit an underwriting assessment saying what claims do they know, what do they not know, and then you're going to get re-rated. And I've never heard anyone go down in a rate. They always go up. So if you get a quote from a Blue Cross or UHC, it's not going to be your exact plan. It's going to be what they want to give you because you'll be fully insured. You'll be a customer of somebody where you're paying a number and you won't see any results. What we're giving you is guarantee issue. We're taking on all your employees without asking any questions. We're giving you complete transparency all the way down to what we make. It's all public knowledge, what Gallagher makes, what IPBC fees are to Ansel Glink, Miller Cooper, Sikich, all those folks that are involved with the pool. On the options, when you consider, good point about the $28,000 Cadillac tax, we've already discussed with Katie and Sue a couple different ways to work with that now. You have to slow down the rate of change. Your PERDERMA rate of change is averaging 9 to 10% a year. If you go to page 5, what you're looking at on page 5 with our PPO average rate adjustment, you're looking at 10 straight years of single-digit adjustments. The last 3 years, less than 1%. And because you're an owner-partner, when there's surplus monies left over, that's the middle column dividend. So the last 3 years, we've averaged less than an eighth of a point on the PPO, and we've returned an average of 8%, which comes back and is listed to the Park District. Out of our communities, we spend $200 million a year in this cooperative. They have over $100 million in reserve funds. They're well reserved. So there's no reserve requirement. Our incurred but not reported liability on $200 million is $18 million. And with $100 million in reserve funds, I don't think we have an issue at this point. The most important page, I think, to look at as you go forward is page 6, the next page. It says average 5-year adjustment, and I understand the point about Barrington. Barrington's a small entity. Barrington wants to stay, and they're a legacy member that have been in the pool a long time. We're putting you in a sub-pool, which provides a great degree of protection. The self-insured retention inside a sub-pool is shared by all, is $35,000. Claims from $35,000 to $125,000, which are catastrophic claims, are shared by all the members. So we take the ability of a catastrophic claim to affect you completely out of the picture. And then we reinsure with stop loss at $125,000 and above. And even in the stop loss, because we have enough reserve funds, we take a risk position on that so we have a chance to drive dividends. We don't just give somebody $8 million and say, hey, if you have a loss ratio of 50% or 120, hey, take all our money and run with it. So this has been well thought out between all the finance directors, managers, and HR folk about what we're going to do. The important thing to note on page 6, note that everybody outside of Barrington has performed to the pool average or outperformed. And I understand the point Commissioner Egan made about 10 points up, 10 points down. You don't have that kind of security in PERDERMA. It could be anything. We're just saying the membership wanted some individuality in there, and we've had as many people take negatives in the last 3 years that have taken a positive. So it's still a nice little, what I call a buffer to make sure that no one gets out of whack. The best thing about page 6, though, is when you go and do your planning budgets, you can use IPBC's average of 3% over the last 5 years, put that into your future budget, and you're going to be right. No other insurance program is going to tell you for 5 years out you're going to be spot on. The only one who's not spot on is Barrington, but Barrington is sitting on a reserve 140% of their annual spend because they've been in the pool for so long. They can defer a 10% increase for the next 21 years if they want. That's the power of the numbers. So if you look at just our last 3 years using the rule of 72, we'll double in 75 years, our cost. That's slowing the chain down. Paderma is averaging a 9%. You're going to double in 8 years. Like I said, you can check out the commercial marketplace, see what's going on, but they always have the right to tell you no, and they're not going to give you the plan designs you want, which gets to my one of my last points. We're able to model anything you want. If you want to model a $500 deductible, $750, you want to model a $1,000 deductible, it's what we do for all the 87 members every single day. That's what we do. If you want to model what a copay is, higher copay this, take your drug, lower your generic, raise your other brand names, we can model all that with staff. We can create separate plan designs. The marketplace will tell you we're only going to offer you one plan. If you wanted 3 PPO plans, I'm going to tell you the pro and con of doing it. I'm not going to tell you yes or no. It's going to be your call. That's the difference between being a customer of somebody and being an owner partner. And just if you flip over to page 7, you also get to see the HMO. The HMO has averaged less than 0.5% over the last 3 years. And again, with strong dividend return.
And the HMO plan, about 1/3 of your membership is HMO, and that is a common rate for every member. It's funded differently. That's a rate given to every member of the HMO pool. There is no up or down 10%.
So and
On
we're
the
also,
HMO side.
yeah,
That's what
and we're
you
also
say.
giving you an 18-month rate lock. Our fiscal year runs July to July. It would make no sense to give you a 6-month number and then play with it again. So we just locked you in for 18 months. And that's giving you Blue Cross Blue Shield, guaranteed acceptance. No one's going to be turned down. We don't need any underwriting.
Pool, sub-pool would we be?
NEHI, the Northern Illinois Health Insurance Initiative. I take particular pride in the name because who didn't like grape or orange NEHI?
Guilty.
I'm sorry, Jerry, were you done? I just flipping through, looking at page 6,
Yeah.
it looks like what you've listed there are the individual members, and you're not giving us the results of the people that are in the pool that we'll be going into.
NEHI, N-I-H-I-I.
Right, I don't see them on page 6, though.
They're on page 6.
Is it right?
The sub-pool is.
That's a sub-pool. I'm looking for the individual members to see how much they're fluctuating. Page 2? Right, no, but here,
Individual.
the individual members,
The reason we formed the subpools, and think about this as protection, we wanted to give tax-capped members the ability to perform as predictably as a Schaumburg or an Evanston. That's why. Inside the subpools, they're all moving like this because they're too small to be evaluated individually. So we aggregate all the tax-capped entities in the subpools. We think it's the smartest thing we've done. That subpool is the largest single entity in the IPBC.
and you said your total reserves were 100 million?
Yes, sir.
On 200 million, what's your burn? Because my
Burn.
knowledge says that you should be having a reserve somewhere around 25% of your expected cost.
We have $100 million in reserves. Like I said, our incurred but not reported expense right now is about $25 million. We have well over that.
I think
It's the
you
community's
wanna
choice to
answer-
keep
I
that
think
money
you're good.
around. I'll ask.
Yeah.
The
We
question is,
actually-
are you holding too much money?
Well,
Is essentially in reserve, which then is driving up the overall
it is the
expense.
member's choice whether to, there is a minimum fund balance policy of 25% in the benefit fund. Once they've achieved that, it is the member's choice whether to leave it on deposit with IPBC or withdraw it, whatever they want to do. The money is very well invested. We have 2 financial advisors, Mishler and Fifth Third, that have the money laddered out over a 5-year period, bringing back 110 basis points currently. Most of the members, obviously, based upon their own practices, have elected to leave the money at IPBC to invest, but it is the members' money. It shows up on their books, and it's within 15. If you need the money, you send a request in, and we send you the money within 15 days at the most.
Is the voting weighted?
No, sir. Usually, most of our votes, because everyone has the same issues in the public sector, our votes end up to be 41-0, 40-1, 39-2. That's as contentious as it gets because we have standing subcommittees that talk about these things, and with so many sets of eyes, it gets to be a pretty good decision when it finally gets done, and it's all in the best interests of, the homogeneous concerns of being in the public sector.
Do you know off the top of your head what happened in 2011 for Knee-High?
For Knee-High, that was the first year we just brought 2 communities in then. That was Rock Falls and North Riverside. So we didn't have any experience on North Riverside. We had to adjust them just to make sure we got the right number for that sub-pool, and everyone paid their fair share. After that, they've averaged, if I took that out of the equation, they've averaged less than 1% since then.
Any other commissioners have any questions? Commissioner Jenner? Commissioner Young? Commissioner Egan? Commissioner Todd? Commissioner Egan, do you have any more questions?
No, I stand that we should be waiting on and evaluating some more. If this ends up being the right choice, so be it, but there's no reason we need to decide this tonight.
Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. If there's no further discussion, Jackie, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Young?
Yes.
Commissioner Todd?
Yes.
Commissioner Egan?
Nope.
Commissioner Ensign?
Yes.
Commissioner Heidi?
Yes.
Commissioner Janner?
Yes.
President Riley?
Yes. Next, under new business, we have our annual meeting, so I will, the election of board president and vice president, turn it over to our executive director.
Thank you, President Riley. At this time, I will accept nominations for the office of president.
I would like to nominate Mike Riley.
Second.
Okay. Any other nominations? Hearing none, I will accept the motion to close the nominations for the office of president.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Abstain.
When your name is called, please indicate your choice for the office of president. Jackie, can you call the roll?
Yes, 1 sec. Commissioner Egan?
Abstain.
Commissioner Ensign?
Michael Riley.
Commissioner Heidi?
Mike Riley.
Commissioner Janner?
Mike Riley.
Commissioner Todd?
Mike Riley.
Commissioner Young?
Mike Riley.
President Riley?
Mike Riley.
Okay, congratulations.
No speeches. I will accept the nominations for the office of vice president.
I would like to nominate Rich Janner.
Second.
If there are no further nominations, I will accept a motion to close the nominations for the office of vice president.
Move to close.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
When your name is called, please indicate your choice for the office of vice president. Jackie, roll call, please.
Commissioner Egan?
Rich Jenner.
Commissioner Ensign?
Rich Janner.
Commissioner Heidi?
Rich Janner.
Commissioner Janner?
Rich Janner.
Commissioner Todd?
Rich Janner.
Commissioner Young?
Rich Janner.
President Riley?
Rich Janner. Congratulations.
I'd like to move to appoint Sue Stanish as board treasurer and Jackie Stern as board secretary.
Second.
Motion is second. Are there any other nominations? Jackie, call the roll, please.
Sure. Commissioner Young?
Yes.
Commissioner Todd?
Yes.
Commissioner Egan?
Aye.
Commissioner Ensign?
Yes.
Commissioner Heidi?
Yes.
Vice President Janner?
Yes.
President Riley?
Yes. For our future meetings, we have a regular meeting of the Board of Park Commissioners, June 25th, 2015, 6 o'clock in the South Maintenance Facility. On July 9th, 2015, a regular meeting of the Board of Park Commissioners at 7 o'clock here in Council Chambers. And on July 23rd, a regular meeting, Board of Commissioners at the South Maintenance Facility at 6 p.m. We have no executive session this evening.
Move to adjourn the June 11, 2015 regular meeting.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Jackie, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Egan,
Yes.
Commissioner Ensign,
Yes.
Commissioner Heidi,
Yes.
Commissioner Vice President Janner,
Yes.
President Riley,
Yes,
Commissioner Todd.
Yes.
we are adjourned.